Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Money Multiplier with Kim. Today, my guest is going to be Jason Nightingale from Safe Money Solutions, and he has some great information to share. So stay tuned. Good morning, everybody, and welcome back to Money Multiplier with Kim. I'm welcoming back my guest, Jason Nightingale from Safe Money Solutions.
Hello,
Hi, Jason.
Good
How
morning.
are you? Welcome back.
Thank you, Kim. Good to be here.
I know we've had some great conversations already, so I just want to continue on. And then we were talking about, the financial distribution platform, velocity banking, infinite banking, all those things that are helping people out there now to achieve that financial freedom goal. So I just wanted to start off a little bit by saying, what are you most passionate about? We've talked a lot about the strategy, talked about a lot of things that are going to be potentially helpful to a lot of people. So what are you passionate about? What brought you into this business? Like, is it the fact that, you're helping people? I know a good part of what I do is that I wanted to go out there and help people. I'm a single mom. I raised two kids. I put two kids through college on my own, and finances are very important to me, and creating that retirement and creating those things for myself that when it's my time to go and retire, I want to know that I got the money there. So, that's what I'm passionate about. So let's talk about what you're passionate about, just to give people an understanding of why you do what you do.
Well, my result ending up in this industry wasn't really anything I had planned. Just in my frustration one day, trying to get access to capital when I was at the worst point in my life, and I couldn't get it, even from my very own bank that I had never not paid. I had always had a great relationship with, and they weren't there for me. They could not, they couldn't pay me. And when she told me, I guess you don't understand amortization, do you? And she told me I couldn't have back extra money I'd paid on my mortgage.
Right.
That I started studying that word, and amortization was always a weird word to me. Mortgage. Well, the word mort comes in the words like mortuary and morgue and mortician. So I knew it meant death, but mortgage actually means death pledge, and amortization means the loan never dies. And so I had to know why it has that name. So my passion stems from my research. And when I started researching that, and I found out that 200 years ago, before John Sutter found gold in California, when they tried to get men to come west from the East Coast and cross the Louisiana Territory, which wasn't Nebraska and Tennessee and Oklahoma yet. They were not even states. It was the Louisiana Purchase. And to come west, when there wasn't even an Oregon Trail, and try to end up in California or Oregon, when the government would give you 40 acres for doing that, and then you could buy up to 660. When you financed this tract of land, if you had 8 kids, that would be a 10-person family. You could have a 6,600-acre ranch. They called it a death pledge because you died owing on that ranch. You just didn't have time to pay it off because you only lived to be about 45 in the 1800s, in the early 1800s. Life expectancies weren't what they were today. And so I realized that as I started studying an amortization schedule, that, Kim, did you realize that a $200,000 mortgage on 30 years at 4%, when you're all done paying that mortgage on time, you will have bought your $200,000 house, and you will have bought your banker a $153,000 house. You'll pay $353,000. So your banker gets a house 70-something% as big, as good as yours. How is that fair?
Right. Exactly.
That's not fair, but that's the way they do it. So I want people to understand, you don't even need a mortgage. You do not have to buy a house with a mortgage. I can show people how to buy a house using credit lines. Credit lines are so much less restrictive. But if you do have to have an amortized loan, you can pay it off much faster with our system. And that's, I guess, what drives me, because I had a bank try to buy my company. I could be done right now, completely done. But I told them, look, I'm not for sale. So what I guess fuels my passion is I don't work because I have to. I work because I want to. There are people that need to know that the banks are taking advantage of them. I don't know of any other business that's challenging checking and savings accounts. I don't know if I have any competition. I really don't. I know there's people out there teaching velocity banking. I know there's people out there teaching infinite banking. I know there's people out there teaching money of all kinds, but I don't know anybody that's challenging the way we hold our money in the bank. So I have a big job in front of me, and I'm up to the task.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, we are literally getting ripped off every day that we pay our mortgages and our credit card. Think about it. You bought a shirt yesterday and you put it on your credit card. It cost you $10. By the time you pay it off, it costs you $15 or $20 or whatever it may
I know.
be.
I tell people all the time, why shop the sale and then put it on your 24% credit card?
Exactly. It makes
and then pay the
absolutely
minimum
no
payment.
sense. Like, you like, oh, I really want to have this, or I need to buy that car, I need to buy this, or I need to have whatever. And you're not real. People don't sit back and consider what that actually costs you at the end of the day, right? You bought a $20,000 car. By the time you're done, it's 30 or 35,000, depending on your interest rate. And now the interest rates are out of control. So, people, just don't understand that fact. They don't look at it that way. They look at it, they just want it. They need to buy that house. They don't know that $200,000 house is going to cost them $335,000, right? At the end of the day. But being able to teach people how to avoid that interest, pay that mortgage off, and now you have a house that's fully paid off. You can use a credit line from that house, an investment property, use a credit line, however you want to do it. And continue on that path and just buy things outright without going to a bank or going to a credit card company or going to those places that would potentially, cost you all this interest. And you're literally making them rich and not yourself. So I, for one, want to be the one getting rich and not them. I, for one, want to be creating my wealth, creating my future, paying my interest, not paying interest, showing my kid, setting my kids up. It's a legacy. You're setting up a legacy as well, right? You're showing them how to be fiscally responsible, showing them how to buy things without paying interest and falling into these traps that everybody falls into nowadays, right? People are in this credit card cycle that just never ends, and they live their life. So many people are living beyond their means. People that can't afford to, in this economy, be able to buy basic things, and they find themselves in debt. So what you have to offer, what you can show people is invaluable. It's something that everybody needs to know. We need to get the word out. We need to express the fact that, listen, without all these financial constraints, your life is going to be much better, and you're going to be able to do the things you want to do sooner, right? We all want to retire, right? We want to retire tomorrow. If I could retire tomorrow, I would, right? So utilizing these strategies, and it's just truly amazing. I can't even say enough about the fact that more people need to know about this. These are great opportunities for people in, the real estate industry, people that, do a lot of investments, people that, just everyday people that are struggling to, make ends meet. And I think that we can make a huge difference in their lives by just even doing one of these solutions. One of these strategies can truly make a big difference.
Absolutely.
Right? So to that note, why don't you share maybe one of your favorite client success stories? I think it's always good to relate to how you help people, right? It's always good to relate to how someone has benefited from your strategies and your solutions.
Okay. Well, since a lot of people here don't have a business that are listening, and I don't want anybody to say, well, that could never happen for me because I don't this or I don't that.
Right.
I'm going to start with a little old lady named Linda, who was 72, that was dead broke when she came to me. And each and every month, if she made 3,856, she spent 3,857.
Right.
And she always just every month, if something broke, it had to go on the credit card. And it seemed like the water heater one month, the transmission the next, the dog needed something the next month. And then the daughter needed to get new braces, or you know what I'm saying? That was there's always something going to happen. And it
Always.
just wasn't, nothing extra was ever in Linda's budget.
Mm-hmm.
And so Linda knew there was going to come a time when she was going to be completely maxed out and she was going to be in trouble.
Right.
So she said, look, here's my problem. I want to make sure that my special needs daughter has a place to live if I die. I need to get rid of this debt. She goes, you realize I'm 72 and my bank put me in a 30-year mortgage last year? I'll never live long enough to pay this mortgage off. And I said, yeah, banks don't have a conscience with that. They'll put a person in a 30-year mortgage knowing they're not going to live long enough to pay it off because they know they're going to inherit the house, you know?
Right, right.
So anyway, I put Linda on a path to be debt-free in 5.5 years. Within 30 days, Linda had $1,850 new dollars left over that she didn't have 30 days sooner. Now listen to that. 30 days after meeting us, she had $1,850 more dollars left over. How did we do that? Well, Linda had a pile of equity in her home. So the very first thing we did is we got a home equity line of credit secured for her. And we paid off her van. We paid off her daughter's car that she was co-signer on. We paid off her grandson's pickup that he was co-signer on. She was co-signer on. And we paid off all of her credit cards. Now, why would we do that? Why would we even pay off those co-signed cards? Well, because we had a little family meeting and Linda was totally for this. And the kids were too. I said, let's lower your kids' interest rate, your grandson and your daughter's interest rate 1%. Let them know you're going to have their titles because now you own the loan. They're going to continue to pay for their cars just like normal. But now at least if they miss a payment, they don't kill their credit, right? I don't want them to miss a payment just because it's mom, grandma, but I want to help you rebuild your savings. So we turned a loan into an opportunity to rebuild Linda Bowles' savings account. So now her grandson and her daughter were paying her to the tune of $600 and something bucks a month. So $7,000 a year is going into Linda's savings account. It was brilliant. Plus, not having a van payment and all those credit card payments, having it all in one interest-only equity line, freed up the $1,850 to do what? To start ramrodding her debt. We snowballed her debt so quickly because we freed up the cash flow to do it. So don't think that your situation is so bad that there's no way we can help you. We just might be able to help you. We have a 90% success rate getting large student loans forgiven and helping people create wealth with those savings. So we have so many ways of saving people money. And real quick, a small business owner came to me. Her name was, give me a second, Dion. And she said, she wanted to pay off $150,000 worth of personal debt and $200,000 worth of business debt. Within 1 year, she was down to 80 grand. Last year, 2 years ago, she bought a hardware store. And I bet if I went to her now, she's probably just about got it paid for. She uses velocity banking and infinite banking ever since we taught her religiously. She's so good at it and she's so disciplined. She's learning how to make her money work for her. She's loving it. And so she has just been a great source of referrals. And she was one of my success stories locally of a small business owner that just turned into a financial animal once she learned how to turn the tables in her favor.
It's all about education. That's what it comes down to. When you learn how to do these things, the sky's the limit. There's just no, it's amazing how you can change your life. And I love the fact that you helped a woman who's 72 years old, change her life. And now she's, making money instead of worrying about where that money's going to come from. Right. People worry about where money's coming from. That you can help someone in that situation, that means there's anybody that's out there can be helped. You just have to ask for it. You just have to understand and understand the process. It's to understand what you do and to, put those plans into place. And like you said about Dion, she just ran with it, right? She has a tool now, right? She's using it, right? She's using it to the best of her ability. That's what you're teaching everybody. That's what we're teaching people to do. And once you have those financial tools, you're set. You're good.
Math is empirical. So you're good it's forever good, right?
Forever.
And what you asked me earlier, how has your business evolved? So for the little Linda Bowles of the world, we developed an automatic transmission. We have a more manual transmission for people like Dion that really want to get in and shift the gears and learn how to run the piece of equipment. So the velocity banking, infinite banking can be done manually, or now that we have this Money Max account, we can do it automatically. And that's for the people like who are in their 70s, or they just don't want to take the time to learn how to, they just want it to work. They just said, just make it work. Make it, I want an easy button. So the Money Max account does that. That's for the person that just wants to log in and have this algorithmic driven computer tell them beyond a shadow of a doubt they want to save time and hassle. They just want a silent partner that doesn't talk back. This thing to tell them, pay this person, pay them this much, pay them on this day, and pay it from this account. And that's exactly what the Money Max account does. It helps you get the exactly best mileage you can get out of every dollar. And they guarantee it to the penny and the day of debt freedom or your money back. It's that good.
Really? Wow.
That's right.
I love that. I know you had introduced a Money Max account to me, and I was just shaking my head. And there's so many people that want somebody else in the driver's seat, right? They just don't understand. They're not into that manual transmission. They want to do the automatic. Somebody tell me what to do, and get me on that path. Listen, I have a client who's a friend of mine. She needs to be debt free in 4 years, right? She needs to get her mortgage done because her alimony is running out, and whatever the situation is, that she needs to be done, right? So we're putting these plans into place, like the Money Max account, this infinite banking, which we had started about a year ago, and she owns a home. So we took she's paid off all her debt already. She has no credit card debt. All she has is a mortgage and a loan that she has. And we're working on getting rid of that. So within the next 3 years, she'll be done. She'll be out, done. Won't have to worry about the mortgage. Hopefully, implementing some of the other things we talked about today, that might even be sooner, right? She has a home equity. She has, all these abilities to be able to have her hands on some money. And that Money Max account, I love it. It's the fact that, someone like me who's busy, I don't have time to, if you don't have time to take the time to do that manual transmission and, get that, really dive into it and utilize it. You have someone who just wants someone to tell them how to do it. You want that person in the background saying, okay, do this. You can see it too. When you pay, if you pay your credit card off in September, if you pay that off at the end of September, instead of when the due date is, you're going to save interest, right? It's a very simple process, right? It's a very simple thing that you're teaching people, but to a certain extent, but people just don't get it, right? They don't understand it. And what people don't understand, they're never going to do because they don't understand it, right? They don't understand. You say infinite banking, they're like, well, what's that? What's velocity banking? I don't get it. What is that? How can I possibly, this is what I love the most. That sounds too good to be true. I don't know if you get that. I get that all the time. Too good to be true. I don't know. That doesn't make any sense. That can't be possible. How can that be possible? Right. And I get that all the time. And people tend to not do something because they don't understand it. And it sounds too good to be true. Right. When it's too good to be true, people are like, whoa, like, I'm not going to do that because that can't possibly be. Yeah. Right. And I'm sure you've gotten that, right? So so let me ask you that question then. If you have a client that says, yeah, that doesn't make sense. I mean, I can't wrap my head around the fact that I'm going to pay my 30-year mortgage off in 5 years. How is that possible? Why is everybody not doing this? Right. What is that? How do you talk to a client when someone says that to you? Well,
if someone is definitely that way, I offer them a complimentary analysis where I can show them. And I said, now, if I can give you a 100% guarantee or your money back, that you are going to be debt free in 4 years and 2 months, just like that analysis just said, is there really any risk in taking a try and just doing it? All you have to do is log in while you got your coffee, and it can't touch your money, but it's going to tell you exactly where to move your money, who to pay, how much to pay, and when to pay it. That's all it's going to do. That's it. And you'll be debt free. They don't have to understand it. That's what I like about it. And so in 2021, when I added that automatic software, automatic transmission version to my model, I went to the conference and I met the two founders, Skylar Whitman and John Washenko, that made the Money Max account. And so when they first started it, they made it work only on an equity line of credit. And so in 2007 and 8, when there was that big crash, they had to do a reiteration of the software so that it would recognize offset accounts like savings and checking.
Right.
So now there's been so many upgrades to this program that it can use several different algorithms in it to make the desired outcome. It's like empirical. It's incredible. And so if a little old person that doesn't understand anything about anything with money can just follow those simple instructions, they can be debt free very, very quickly. And they can be banking like a rock star, like a real estate investor does.
Right.
It's just amazing. Here's what I like about it. It's got a forecasting feature. So if you put the neighbor's house, let's say you like the neighbor's house, they just moved out, it's for sale, and you want to buy it. You can actually put in the mortgage as if you already bought it. Put in $230,000 at 4%. Put in 30 years. Put in, whatever it comes up with, $1,800 a month or whatever. You can put it in with all your own expenses and your cash flow, and it'll show you how long it'll take you to own it. And what'll be shocking is with most people, it's like 4 or 5 or 6 years you can own that home.
Yeah.
And they don't realize you can buy a second mortgage house that fast.
Yeah.
So my question is, if you could be out of the red and into the black in 4 to 6 years, what could you do on the second, third, and fourth home? When I show people how to do what I call cash flow stacking, where they can own multiple rental units and compressed time frames. And I do something in my masterclass where I show an exercise how to buy 5 commercial real estate purchases in 3 years and 8 months using cash flow stacking. People, when they see that, the math is right in front of them. And it's just like, oh my word, I had no idea. But when you have money and then you have more money and you have more money, you're feeding your engine with more go power. You really start picking up momentum to where finally you're like, Grant Cardone or Donald Trump. I mean, you're a billionaire investor.
That's right.
It's changing the lives for so many people. And here's what really makes me passionate. Our bank has us using tools that are over 100 years old. A checking and savings account are over 100 years old. If you had to dig a hole in your yard, would you use your bare fingers?
No.
What if there was glass in there or rocks, right? If there was 5 feet down a treasure and you knew it was there, you found a map and there was a treasure there, you wouldn't even use a shovel. You'd go get a backhoe.
Right.
And why in the world are people in prehistoric ages in their banking, savings, and checking? Because they don't know there's a better way.
That's right. And that's the bottom line.
Safe Money Solutions is all about. Our core strategy is, what are you doing with your bank? We'll work on all that other stuff. We're a financial distribution platform, but let's go all the way back to the beginning and look at how you're handling your money.
Right. Well, Jason, this has been truly enlightening. It's some amazing information here that we've shared, that you've shared. And I know that this is definitely something that people need to know about, especially now. And we're going to get that word out and make sure that, they join that master class and learn the tools and the tricks they need to be able to have that financial freedom. And I just want to thank you so much again for joining us and being on my show. And, we will definitely have another conversation in regard to this, because I know this is something that people want to learn about.
I want to invite your guests to a free webinar. Can I do that?
Yeah, of course.
So if you go to Safe Money Jason, just SAFE, safemoneyjason.com. There is a link to all of my different stuff on there, but there is a link to register for a free webinar that happens every Wednesday morning at 10:30 Pacific, which is 1:30 East Coast, and every Thursday evening at 4:30 West Coast, 7:30 East Coast. Happens twice a week, 2 different times a day.
Right.
And that's a free webinar basically on our Accelerate Your Wealth. Accelerated banking is what we call it, which is our basic strategy, where people can come and learn more and it's free.
Oh my, thank you so much. That's great. Everybody, please take advantage of this. This is truly a great opportunity to be able to learn more about this. And it's free. So what's better than that? So again, Jason, thank you so much for being on today. And everybody, thank you for joining Money Multiplier, and we'll see you next time. Have a great day.
Thanks, Kim.